Okay. All right, we are live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll give people a second to join, and then we'll get started. All right, give people a couple more seconds to join, and then we'll get started. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us at L2B's Global Aviation News. Today, we're going to be talking to Efe Erten with Erten Law in Turkey about reforming the long delay compensation, which is basically passenger rights from a non-EU viewpoint. Efe is the founder of Erten. He graduated Istanbul University and has been practicing law since September of 2004 as a member of the Istanbul Bar. He focuses on corporate law issues, mergers and acquisitions, and works on contracts and complex legal matters. He actively advises airlines, ground handling companies, MROs, and other aviation specialists on their ongoing legal needs in Turkey and abroad. And he speaks 2 foreign languages, English and German. Welcome, Efe, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for inviting me and taking the time to arrange this event. I really appreciate your efforts and for this opportunity. So, believe me, I have watched all the L2B live streams, and as both a corporate aviation attorney and a member of the group L2B, I strongly support this undertaking. Thank you very much. This allows aviation experts from different regions to share their knowledge and opinions regarding legal matters and also recent developments in their respective jurisdictions. And I think these live sessions, which you will later, I understand, stream on the YouTube channel as well. So this will not only benefit fellow aviation lawyers, but also in-house lawyers, general counsels of airlines, authorities, maybe, and other players in the aviation industry, such as ground handlers, MROs, and furthermore, I think these events will undoubtedly inspire new ideas and legal arguments for aviation scholars and students. So, as indicated by the title of the live stream today, I'm joining from now sunny Istanbul, Turkey, so to discuss the controversial and progressive topic of passenger rights. In particular, long delay compensation under European law. So, although I'm an aviation lawyer, I also personally encounter delays and cancellations, and often, as you know, denied boardings as a frequent airline passenger as well. So, but today, however, I will have the airline hat, and I will be focusing on the impact of European law on airlines of Turkey. And rather discussing it from a passenger's perspective. So actually for our viewers and participants who are not familiar with Turkey's commercial aviation scene and industry, I would like to provide a brief overview of our country's position in the global aviation scene. So as many know, Turkey is sitting at the crossroads of Europe and with emerging markets in the Middle East, Caucasus, and Northern Africa. So Turkey serves a central hub. Istanbul Airport, the busiest airport in Europe, they welcomed over 64 million passengers in 2022, and they regained 70% of its pre-pandemic direct connections.
Oh, wow.
Which is, Antalya, exactly, following Istanbul with a ranking of 7 in Europe, with the number of annual passengers of 30 million. So according to forecast by the Airport Council, Turkey will be one of the top 15 fastest growing countries until 24 in aviation. So which is remarkable.
Wow. That is remarkable.
Airlines in Turkey, so including the highly regarded legacy carrier Turkish Airlines, along with the low-cost carriers and holiday charters such as Pegasus, Sun Express, Corendon, and Tailwind Airlines, they conduct both passengers and cargo operations to over 340 international destinations and they generate with a fleet of 500 aircrafts over 35 billion US dollars annually. So Turkey has a beautiful Mediterranean Riviera and is a popular destination for many European tourists, as you can imagine. So this leads to the operation of seasonal charter flights by various European holiday companies to Antalya and Dalaman airports. So taking into account the significant number of Turkish guest workers across Europe as well, so approximately 75% of all passengers traveling to Turkey are from Europe. So given this fact, the European Union's passenger protection laws holds great importance from our point of view as well. So coming to Turkey's involvement with the European Union, this goes back to 1959, and negotiations for Turkey's accession to the EU began in 2005. So the aviation industry is also an area of close collaboration between Turkey and EU. Turkey is a partner of EASA, one of the pan-European partners, they call it so, and together they work on implementing EU aviation safety rules into the local aviation jurisdiction through a signed working arrangement. And in addition to that, in March 2010, the European Union and Turkey signed a horizontal aviation agreement with the aim to establish strong bonds in aviation relations and promoting the traffic between them. Turkey is trying hard to integrate with Europe, not only politically but also legally. So several laws have been modified and European regulations have been adapted into Turkish law to align with EU standards during the ongoing accession negotiations, which have now spanned a decade. So, however, because Turkey is not yet a member of the EU, EU laws are currently not applicable in Turkey. So now we are talking about the impact of EU passenger rights and regulation on airlines in Turkey, but this may seem a little contradictory since EU laws are not applicable in Turkey. So this is where should I be somehow technical, dive into technicality and talk about European Court of Justice's rulings. So, however, the EU regulation 261 from 2004 is not applicable in Turkey, according to case law of European Justice Court. When a carrier, regardless of their nationality, departs passengers from an airport in a EU member country, is subject to the EU 261 regulation. So the question of applicability and enforceability of this alien law to Turkey is also a legal argumentation, but I'm not going to go deep into the complexities of this international civil law and international civil procedural law, basically. So it is important to note here that European Court of Justice solved this issue, and there was a court case which is referred as Rechter and versus Air Baltic Corporation, and they ruled. The ruling says air passengers have right to claim compensation from non-EU carriers in European courts, irrespective of territorial jurisdiction. So,
can I ask a question real quick?
Of course, definitely.
Did you say it was against Airbus? Who did you say it was?
No, it was Air Baltic. It was Air Baltic.
Air Baltic. Okay, because
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out why they would sue a manufacturer. Okay, thank you.
So, of course, now I want to go focus on long delays, which is the main subject of the stream. So, under EU law, there are three types of long delays. identified under Article 6. So these categories depend on two main factors. One is the duration of the delay, and the other one being the distance of the flight. So according to the EU law, an airline is considered responsible for a long delay if the delay is at least 2 hours for flights that are longer than 1,500 kilometers. Similarly, for flights within the European community that cover a distance of more than 1,500 kilometers, a delay of 3 hours or more is classified as a long delay. So, in addition to that, for international flights with a flight distance between 1,500 and 3,500 kilometers, and any delay beyond 4 hours is considered a long delay, regardless of other conditions.
So weather conditions, anything like that, doesn't matter.
Except for extraordinary circumstances, which I will talk about them later. So,
sorry.
No problem. So many viewers will know that the EU 261 defines just one remedy for long delay, and this is duty of care. So giving refreshments to your passengers and such. But however, this was later extended to include monetary compensation. This is the statutory remedy only for cancellations and denied boardings in EU law. So this is again with the very well-known decisions of the European Court in Condor and Air France cases. And this goes back to 2009, I believe. So consequently, airlines across the globe are obliged to reimburse passengers a flat rate for long delays, except in rare cases where the delay is caused by exceptional and unforeseen external factors. But these are very limited. So this compensation, of course, if you can imagine, amounts to millions of dollars every year. And airlines have been vocal about their concerns regarding the unfairness of EU 261. So, and particularly during the pandemic. So, in a joint hearing held in July 2021 in the European Parliament's Committee of Petitions and Transport, international airlines representation in Europe boldly asserted the EU 261 as not fit for purpose. So, fight continues. So, European regional carriers, too, they view the current regulation as anti-competitive, and they criticize its impact on carriers and its lack of definition of extraordinary circumstances. They're too much concerned about the financial burden on potentially leading to end of their operations and cuts in services and routes. So the EU has a goal of balancing consumer protection with market liberalization. However, this approach has faced criticism from passenger rights organizations, as well as regional and international air transport associations like IATA. So, but this year, again, IATA called for reassessment of this law, EU 261, highlighting that the code has undergone significant changes due to European Court of Justice rulings, and now moving away from its original intent. And additionally, they mentioned a lack of balance among industry participants and suggested this EU 261 in this form may have negative impacts on the US and Middle East as well. So, bottom line, in order to strike a balance and improve relations between passengers and carriers, the EU must address the following issues related to long delay compensations, which are echoed both by EU and EU carriers, non-EU carriers. So they have to immediately adopt new tiers for long delays, a broader definition of extraordinary circumstances, and maybe acknowledgement of their knock-on effects on following routes, and of course put a cap on compensation based on the proportion of airfare paid by the operator. So, in the line of the foregoing, as a lawyer would say, the new proposal for reforming EU 261 aims to strike a balance between passenger protection and economic impact on airlines, building on this previous approach, but specifically, this new reform, as far as I have read it, centers on addressing long delays, introducing a uniform 5-hour deadline for compensation in intra-EU journeys, and a better deadline for extra-EU journeys over 3,500 kilometers. So, considering the challenges faced by long-haul flights in managing delays that occur far from their carriers' home base under the new Article 6. So, and in addition to that, the proposal introduces new terms like tarmac delay and provides a definition for extraordinary circumstances, which is fine because I believe this favors the airlines in terms of defending their cases for compensation with Europe's jurisdictional bodies, which is crucial for all international and, of course, Turkish air carriers as well. So, also I have to note here, additionally, that coming to Turkey, Turkish CAA, Turkish Civil Aviation Authority, in accordance with the collaboration efforts with the EU, as I have mentioned before, they have also adopted a similar version of EU 261, of this notorious EU 261 in 2012. And this was quite peculiar for the perspective of aviation experts. So then the CAA, Turkish CAA, attempted to regulate long delays based on decisions from the European Court of Justice, and tried to implement the same compensation concept for long delays in the same system that EU does. So, however, this approach was later overturned by the Higher Administrative Court, and currently Turkish air passengers have no compensation for long delays. That's why I'm aware that Turkish authorities are watching European authorities very closely, and I hope they listen to those criticisms by the European and non-European international, national, and regional carriers, and they also put efforts to achieve a more balanced approach for delay compensation. So basically, this is my presentation about long delays. Please, if you have any questions, if there are any questions from our viewers.
We do have a question. We do have a question, Efe. Uli has asked if you will cover the SHY regulation and how it interplays with EC 261. Do you know what SHY regulation?
Yes, but sorry, I couldn't hear it very well. Yes, I know the regulation. This is the Turkish regulation, which is basically the adaptation of the same EU regulation. And the question was?
Will you cover the SHY, SHY regulation and how it interplays with EC 261?
In this live stream, not. But of course, if we have a sequel and if there are some requests to cover that, I will definitely and willingly do that.
Okay. Okay, so you don't want to do it here?
No, not yet.
Not yet, too much? Okay. Okay, are there any other questions from the audience? Thank you for that, Uli. Okay, that was really good. All right, well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for joining us today. If you are interested in learning more about FA or his firm or the services he offers, you can go to l2baviation.com. L2B is a network of attorneys around the globe that specialize in aviation. I appreciate very much, FA, how you started this and the benefits. You outlined the benefits of these live streams. That is exactly what these are designed to do, to help people kind of navigate some of the legal intricacies that exist in the aviation space. So, we are a network of over 45 law firms that specialize in aviation, and we have over 54 countries represented in our network. So, if you ever have any needs, you can come to our website, l2baviation.com, and see if we have an attorney in the jurisdiction that we need. Thank you again for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you on our next live stream. And thank you, Efe, very, very much. It was very informative.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for having me. And if you need a sequel in passenger rights from a Turkish regulation point of view, I will definitely do that.
Okay, it sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.